Hi, my name is Stefan Gonick, EFT practitioner, Soulmate Attraction mentor, and founder of the Soulmate Attraction Academy from single-to-soulmate.me. Welcome to Love Talk Q&A, the place to be to get your questions answered about finding and keeping the love of your life. Now, one of the questions I hear pretty often is, what are suggestions for good activities to do on a first date? Well, the best way to answer that is to think about what is it that we're trying to achieve on a first date. So what we're trying to achieve is we want to have an opportunity to get to know this person as a person, right? Get a feeling of what this person, who this person is, what they're like to be with, what it's like for us to interact with each other, things like that. So that's sort of the goal of a first date. Now, let's start by talking about what not to do on a first date, or at least what I would recommend not doing on a first date. And what I recommend not doing is actually the thing that almost, the great majority of people actually do on a first date. And that is to go somewhere where they sit down at a table across from each other and quiz each other, right? So they might go to a coffee shop and have tea or coffee, or they might go out to dinner or lunch or whatever. And they just sit at a little table across from each other and they ask each other questions, right? Now, the reason why I don't recommend that is that this is not a natural setting for getting to know somebody. You might think, well, I get to ask all the questions I want to ask, so that will help me get to know this person. But the reality is that asking questions just gives you information. It doesn't really help you get to know the person very well because you're not experiencing who they are. You're just asking questions and getting answers. And yes, you get a little bit of a sense of who they are. If the person's sort of vivacious, you get that sense of, oh, this person's vivacious. Okay, that's something. Or the person's quiet, you get the sense they're quiet. But it's an uncomfortable setting. It's not a place where people feel natural, and it's not very easy for most people to be themselves in this sort of mutual interview setting. So I very much recommend that you don't do that. Because somebody who is kind of quiet in this awkward, unnatural setting, if you put them in another setting that's more natural, they may be much more lively. So you're not really even getting necessarily an accurate impression by doing that. So what do we do instead? So to me, the best way to get to know somebody on a first date is do some kind of activity together. Okay? Because when you're doing an activity, the person is being themselves, at least to a greater degree. And there's opportunities to interact and get a feeling for who the person is. You learn a lot about somebody, not by asking questions and hearing their answers, but by observing them, by feeling their energy, by seeing what they do, and most importantly, what it's like to interact back and forth between each other. So back when I was single, and I was using dating sites a lot, so this is even more unnatural, right? You're doing dating site, you find someone's profile, you contact each other, then you arrange that first date. And the unnatural part is like, all right, yes, we're both single, we're both wanting a relationship, and we're here to check each other out, right? So that alone is uncomfortable. And that's why sitting at the table and quizzing each other, is even more uncomfortable. So that's where I get this idea of, well, let's do an activity. And the activity doesn't have to be anything dramatic or complex, but it just gives you an opportunity to interact with each other and the environment. So what might these activities be? One of my favorite ones is to go for a walk in a park that has things going on at the park. Now, I should probably stop here and start mentioning things about safety. If you do decide to use this, my first suggestion was to go to a park, go to a park where there's lots of people around. Don't go to some secluded park, and don't be led away and down a secluded path. I mean, if you're a woman and a guy suggests let's go down a secluded path, it doesn't necessarily mean he wants anything bad. He might think, well, it's just more romantic to go on a secluded path. But if it's a first date, you don't know this person very well yet, and you can just say, I'm not really comfortable, being by ourselves yet. I'd really rather stay around other people. And that's okay. Most people will respect that. And when you're so assuming you do that, and this, applies to anything you might do with this person on a first date. Be somewhere public where there's other people around. But let's assume you're doing that. So if you think about it, there's a park, there may be a little playground with kids, there's opportunities to interact there. If there's a pond with ducks or something, that could be an opportunity to interact. climbing on rocks can be an opportunity to interact. I mean, there's places to be playful and to play with each other, to have fun with each other, stuff like that. So I always like doing that. Now, you're probably also going to be still asking each other questions and stuff, but it's much more active and there's opportunities to do other things rather than just ask each other's questions. So keeping this sort of idea in mind of looking for activities, we can now start thinking about, other options. So another option, which is surprisingly rich in terms of opportunities to feel each other and to interact with each other and the environment, is to walk down a street with a lot of stores and kind of go window shopping. Because it can be fun. You don't even necessarily have to go inside the store, right? Just looking at what's in the windows, looking inside, looking at the store, gives you opportunities to interact about your environment, right? So there's sort of window shopping on a main street downtown or something like that is something you can do. If there's a local fair, lots of people at a fair, right? Again, there's all these tables with exhibits and things set up, opportunities to interact with the environment and each other. We want a rich environment where there's a big variety of things, because that gives you all sorts of spontaneous opportunities to see what it's like being with each other, basically. So let's say we have a local fair. Another option would be farmer's market, an art exhibit, if it's like a casual one. We don't want to do something that's going to necessarily commit us to a long time with the person, right? If you don't feel like it's going well, you don't want to feel like you have to be with this person for a couple hours or a few hours. So it's nice to have something that you can just go, okay, that's enough, after a half hour, say, right? So if you have that's why these things, a fair, a farmer's market, a casual art show or art exhibit, it could be nice. Similarly, if there's some little tiny local museum, that could be fun. Again, things to interact with the environment and with each other. Let's see what a couple other examples. I mean, you're starting to get the general idea, right? There's something where you're out in public and there's interesting things in your environment. That could be a great way to get to know each other on a first date. If you can think of something a little unusual, that's a little out of the ordinary, but still public and safe and all that stuff, that can be really cool. Nothing just pops into my head as I say that, but it's kind of one of these things where there might be some interesting thing that you see in the calendar section, right? So, if you're a local newspaper and you look through the calendar, it's like, ooh, there's this unusual, interesting thing. That you can be on the lookout for stuff like that, and then that can be fun. Again, you don't want to commit to something that's going to be multi-hour, but something where you can break it off at any point. But the whole point of what I'm trying to say, repeatedly, is the goal of a date is to get to know each other, to get a feeling for who the person is, to get a feeling for what it's like to interact with each other. So if you're in some kind of rich environment that has, a lot of stuff around you that you can interact with the environment, you can make comments, you can interact with each other, you can be playful with each other, things like that. And in my experience, that is far and away the best way to get to know each other on a first date. So one of the things I would love for you to do is, I gave you some of my ideas for things you could do on a first date. In the comments below, I would love it if you would put down some of your ideas for something really fun to do on a first date. Maybe you were inspired by the suggestions I had and you have some of your own. So we can get this sort of growing list of all these different kinds of things that people can do on a first date. And in fact, if you have this really cool list, you can, when you're time to plan this first date, you can kind of pull out your list and say, hey, I was thinking I have a bunch of ideas of things we can do for a first date. And then you can present it and see which ones the other person likes, right? Rather than just picking one. But let's say you do farmer's market and the other person's not into that, but they might like one of the other ones on the list. So anyway, that'd be really fun and cool if you add your ideas for first date activities in the comments. And if you like this video and found it helpful, it'd be really cool. It would help me if you go ahead and let me know that by clicking on the like button. So I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you on the next episode of Love Talk Q&A. Did you like this video? If so, click on the like button below, subscribe to this channel, and spread the love to your friends. And if you have questions about your love life, please submit them in the comments below, and your question just might appear in an upcoming episode of Love Talk Q&A. Also, if you would like to understand the 3 key blocks to finding love and how to attract your soulmate now, sign up for the free Finding the Love You Want mini course. Well, thank you for hanging out with me, and remember, no matter how long you've been trying, you really can have the life and love you long for. This is Stefan Gonick, International Love Coach from FindingTheLoveYouWant.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time on Love Talk Q&A.